Since 2008, the United States have been suffering through a financial crisis, and still to this day, government officials try to find ways to get around the problem, which normally results to budget cuts for any program that they fund. One out of many budget cuts have been focused to take effect on any program that supports both autism awareness and research. When this was revealed to the public, many people, including parents that have children with autism and professionals that try to get the public aware of this learning disability, were outraged, and many individuals who didn't understand the problem asked themselves, why does this even matter to them? The answer is that it does matter to those who know anyone with autism. In this situation, it seems that these government officials who are trying to make these budget cuts possible don't think that autism is real, and they also think that it's just a sick type of joke. But the truth is, autism is real. My name is Nolan Schmidt, and I have autism. I had it since when I was a toddler, and my mom has been there for me every moment of my life since I was diagnosed.
Well, he was slow at walking, and he wouldn't talk. He was probably, I guess, around 18 months when he started walking, and it's when he first tried to take a step. And then he was about 3.5 when he wasn't talking. He was just pointing and saying, like that to things. But that's and his walking wasn't quite right, and he wasn't into stuff that kids his age, at that time development was usually at.
For some months, I was taken to different professionals for my symptoms. Then, when they finally figured it out, I was diagnosed with autism by some professionals in Houston. My mother's reaction was,
I was upset in one way, but then I could understand why he was so delayed in his other stuff at the time. But he was smart in other things.
Then I started school, and most of the time I tried to enjoy myself. But even the school officials in my childhood years put me down as a complete outcast.
He had to go through a special ed and a lot of, testing and stuff like that for himself for his age. And I know he got frustrated a few times. There was one principal I got upset with. I think it was this first grade principal. She called me off and had a meeting. We always had the ARDs and stuff. And she says, well, Nolan would never pass the 3rd grade. He would be delayed. And I got frustrated. I said, my son's going to pass no matter what. I says, because I'm going to get him all the tools he'll learn with and go on and be himself. I said, because I was a slow learner. So I helped him get the right tools, and school helped him too. And he's succeeded over his boundaries.
Throughout my school years, I suffered through bullying, but being autistic, the experience was much worse.
He had it all through his, up to even the high school kids picked on him because they knew he was different. When he was in pre-K, these kids got his backpack and took it and threw it in the toilet and pushed him down, got him all wet. They had to call me to bring in some more clothes, and I told them, y'all need to do something with these kids. They go, well, kids in the schools now, they start out this way because they in gang families and stuff, and that's what causes them to do this. So there was one event I got really upset with, and that was in high school. He was in football. And kids, it wasn't just Nolan though, it was some other kids that they did it to too, but they tried to flush their heads down in the toilets, and I got really upset, got on the teacher and everything, and the School, all they did was make him run laps. It pissed me off.
Retard! That's what they would call me. You stupid retard! Nobody cares for you! Monsters. That's what they were. Complete monsters. I also had terrible thoughts in my head. Terrible like a raging fire, ready to do more damage. Horrible thoughts that would be stuck in my head for days, weeks, months, or even years.
Well, I talked to him a lot, told him to try to ignore him, but he got braver and stood up to some of them, and then he met a teacher in high school that taught him how to deal with some of them. My hopes and dreams have always been for him to go to college, graduate from college, and be very successful at whatever he wanted to be. And right now he wants to be a filmmaker and do anything with, that kind of line of business.
As many people want to know what autism truly is, I'll let my mother explain that to you.
Kids with autism learn by sight. They don't learn by hearing. A lot of kids, if they don't get taught early enough the phonics and stuff by sight, then they're going to have a rough time dealing with autism. They're not all that much different from the original person. They just got a little boundaries hold them back, but if they get the right tools to learn with, they can go very far in life. There's a lot of kids that's proven that to this day around the world. My son's a wonderful person. He's very loving. He gets frustrated, with things, but he learned from school and through me. You had your timeout times to cool down. And that helps. Have lots of patience. Your child is very brilliant in a lot of things when they have autism, and then they got little minor points that helps them, that brings them down a notch, but they're actually smarter than most kids, and by proof. And knowing he's a wonderful kid, and I hope he goes very far in life.
My experience with autism was a great one. Throughout my life, I had to learn how to control myself and to use my autism for my creativity. And to this day, I remember one thing that was told to me from the Word of God.
I created you
In my own image. This is one of the main reasons why these budget cuts shouldn't happen. If you can put an autistic child through the proper amounts of assistance and learning, then that child will be successful too. I went through a lot as a child due to my autism, but I used it for both my creativity and self-dedication. But knowing that the budget cuts might happen, it may not be the same for other autistic children, based on the fact that the cuts will eliminate any programs to assist them in their education. This will also mean that great programs like Autism Speaks and medical facilities that does a huge amount of research on autism will slowly disappear from existence. The only question I have for everyone watching this film is, what will you do about this situation, and what will it take to stop these budget cuts from happening?